Angel, I'm gonna break my wings. A melody from heaven spins me round and around. Yeah, I'm bouncing off the clouds.
Hey, you are listening to Life Success. I'm your host, Laurie, and we're going to talk about depression. Okay, why I want to talk about it is because it's so common in New Zealand that people are in depression, and mental health is at its lowest point in New Zealand, and a lot of people are struggling with this condition. And it's very common. A lot of people are not working because of depression, and it is a struggle, a power struggle. But we can either allow it to destroy us, or we confront it and confront our fears and stand up and face it. You know, like I spent probably 20 odd years of my lifetime since I was 10 years old struggling with depression because I lost my brother through suicide, and the trauma of it and just the bullying tactics that kids do, and it was one of those things that happen in today's world, and I wanted to really confront that with you guys and just bring it to the awareness in today's world. So if you want to hit me up on Facebook, Tranquility NZ, join us on there and we can have discussions about these subjects and stuff. I post a lot of stuff on there that are inspiring, and if you want to join me on there, go ahead and see me over there. I'm also on Instagram, so go on and check out my Instagram and get inspired to live your life so that you can overcome the mind over your mood. So our minds are like a crucial part of our mood, because of how we think, how we perceive it, and how we behave. So this is what I mean about the CBT Circle. So our thoughts, either positive or negative, attitude, response, and then all of a sudden the next part is behavior, right? So our response is our behavior, and then the action is the behavioral area. You're behaving in a positive way or a negative way. So your reaction to it can be negative, and that's where our behavior and our attitude response changes dramatically. So this is my CBT circle that I've created that makes it easier for basically you guys to understand in general, and you need a safety plan for yourself to overcome these areas. So I use emotional freedom technique, which is the tapping, and of course the CBT. Now I encourage people to not judge themselves, so I use the Judgement Detox system, which is great. Gabby Bernstein, great book that I've read about her way of overcoming judgment. And this is where we judge ourselves when we're depressed. We judge ourselves, we judge others, we're quite negative, we spiral in this negativity and not realize that that spiral of negativity serves us no purpose at all whatsoever. So really, the way we perceive it is what we're going to get, right? So for me to overcome my situation where I lost my brother, right, I had to change my perspective on it and not judge it. And that's where I overcame my fear of losing another loved one. And sometimes that fear-based thoughts can really cloud our judgment on how we deal with things in life. And when kids can be quite cruel in school and bully you, if they are bullying, then they've got issues themselves. So how they behave is what you see in them, right? So when they are negative and they're bullying others and think they're so cool at it, which is really not the case, it's pathetic, really. It's showing that they are lowering their standards, their boundaries, and there are boundaries in place for a reason. And when we don't respect our boundaries, we are more likely to struggle with these boundaries. Okay, and then we end up taking on all their crap, right? And it sits on our mind and it sits on our heart, and we struggle to let go of that heart-based issue. And this is where we let go. This is the part where we witness that we're out of alignment with the universe and let go. I choose to see peace instead of this. I prefer to say this prayer. I witness that I'm out of alignment with my power. I choose to see peace instead of this. Instead of this negativity, this downward spiral, I choose to actually let go of my negative emotions, let go of that negative thought patterns, because it can go round and around in your head 1,000 times. Get it out on paper. If you have a journal, grab it, start writing, get it out of your system, and just get it out. You're gonna be holding it all in, and it's not healthy. It's not okay, because that's when our attitude response gets negative if we hang on to it. So letting go of that negative thought doesn't give us peace, doesn't let us choose peace if we hang on to it. So, and we don't get in the alignment of peace, so our behavior would end up being so negative, and we end up taking it out on others or ourselves, and we keep on doing that. And that's when you start feeling suicidal, and you start doing these disgusting things. You start to hurt yourself, you start to do drugs, you start to drink, you start to abusing yourself because you don't love yourself enough. If you don't see peace within yourself as well, then what's the point? So when you abuse yourself, you don't love yourself, you don't treat yourself with the right respect. Like, for example, you may hate your body, but seriously, go and exercise, eat something healthy. That's self-love. I used to do that for 5 years straight. I used to go to the gym and I used to work out 5 days a week. And I was studying fitness, and that kept me going, because I knew that was my way of self-love towards myself, because that's a good start to understanding who you are and how your body works. Okay? I may have been the most slimmest person you could find in that situation, but in the end of the day, it's not about image. It really isn't. And when we really choose to see peace and love, that's when everything else doesn't matter anymore, because we are making peace with our experience, we're making peace with our circumstances, we are making peace with our family, we are making peace with people who may have hurt us in the past. We're letting go of that judgment, and then we're actually confronting our fears. So, for example, I confronted my fears of my family members taking their lives, struggling with depression, and when really I just need that understanding and see peace instead of judging them for basically being in that position. It's not their fault. There's not enough support system out there in today's world, and obviously they didn't feel like they were finding a way out, and that can happen in today's world. So if you are struggling with depression, you need to understand that this is what it is every day. Get up, stop moping around, and go and make yourself a cup of coffee. Do something productive. Like, I have plants, indoor plants, and I look after them daily. I treat them like they're my babies and give them nurturing love and just take care of them. And that's good for the mind and body. So it's like having an animal. I mean, animals are great. The most loyal friend you could have, because they don't judge. They are your support system. They comfort you and all that jazz. But you need to really remember, being an invert doesn't solve the problem. It really doesn't. Because you're not confronting the situation. You're just kind of, swerving away and avoiding it. So with depression, you need to confront it, be honest with yourself, and be honest with others around you. And just say, yeah, hey, I am feeling a bit low, but I need to find a way around it. And this is where probably the podcast can help you to overcome these areas. So I rather read The Magic of Not Giving a Fuck by Sarah Knight, and that's a great book to help you overcome some of those areas, those difficulties. So our mind over mood is to deal with this negativity, the changing our perspective, seeing the positivity in the situation instead of actually expecting ourselves to see the other way around. Because when we think negative, it's not helping. Really, those thoughts are not helping, those negativity thoughts. And so our attitude response shifts if we are thinking more positively. Changing how we behave, how we respond to situations is so crucial. And that's where I've learnt the art of that, where I'm accepting the fact that, okay, it's not perfect, but I'm getting better every day. I'm trying to find a way around it. I try. And that's where we choose to see peace instead of this. You are welcome to write that down and use that as your mantra, because having a positive mindset helps us get out of that negative hole. Because when you're in that negative hole, your behavior becomes negative reaction, and you are more likely to take action, which is the negative actions, and hurt others and yourself around all that crap. And that's not helpful. So I recommend getting a journal from KKK and get the happy one. It's a yellow book, that journal that you can get, and it's 12 months of it, and it's fantastic. One of the best journals I've ever had, and it's got some tools that you can use. But just really work on yourself and really get to know yourself and accept yourself. So at some stage we're going to do a self-love podcast and talk about these subjects and see where we go with that. And I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will catch up with you on the next podcast.
Yeah, bouncing off the clouds, what you're waiting for. Yeah, bouncing off the clouds, hear that melody. Dancing on the clouds, waiting for your heartjack. Got to let the beat get under your skin. I think I'm an angel, I'm gonna break my wings. A melody from heaven spins me round and around. Yeah, bouncing off the clouds, whisper in your ear. Yeah, bouncing